Hey YouTube! So, I wanted to discuss a controversial topic that I think has popped up pretty recently, and that is the fat acceptance movement, and this fat is beautiful sort of thing that's been going on within media. And I'm going to be discussing why I don't think it's necessarily a good idea. And there will inevitably be accusations of me being a fat shamer, just as there have been accusations of me being a slut shamer. And, I abhor all forms of bullying. I don't think it's an acceptable thing to do in the 21st century, no less. There is really no place for it when you think about it. There is a fine line between harassment or bullying and legitimate criticism, and mine is hopefully going to be interpreted as the latter rather than the former. One thing that I think should bear mentioning is that just because you look fat, it doesn't mean you are unhealthy, and conversely, just because you look skinny doesn't mean you're perfect. With that out of the way, I don't think that promoting the idea that being fat, or to be more correct, being morbidly obese or obese, is necessarily a good idea, especially in North America. Bullying is unacceptable in these instances, but I think criticism, legitimate criticism based on concern, is warranted and should be mentioned. Like, if someone went to McDonald's every day and ate there twice a day, and they were morbidly obese as a result, would you not feel obligated to say something? And if their feelings are hurt, then fine, their feelings are hurt. There are a lot of things that offend me too, but just because something offends you does not classify it as bullying. But what about the way that you look? Do I care about the way you look if you are morbidly obese? Well, yes, I do. To a superficial extent, I do. There are certain things that attract me, and certain things I don't find attractive. And a person being morbidly obese, I don't find particularly attractive. But, that doesn't mean I expect a girl to try and kill herself and harm her own health in a desperate attempt to impress me. And the same goes, I think, with the rest of society. If the rest of society does not think that you are physically attractive, that doesn't mean that you should harm yourself to try and achieve an unachievable goal. And I know that obesity is a problem. I know that bullying and fat shaming are problems, especially in high school. I can definitely see why people might be concerned about that, but I don't think that this promoting of an unhealthy lifestyle is necessarily a good thing either. Granted, of course, there are things about it that I think should be promoted, like the fact that just because you look unhealthy doesn't mean that you are unhealthy, but there are, again, other things that I think need improvements that should be mentioned. I think my stance is pretty common sense, if I had to be honest with you guys, but of course there are going to be people who disagree with me, who may think my stance is a little too radical or extreme, and I accept that, and I am very open to criticism. But feel free to mention that in the comment section. And as always, may the truth always be heard.